Welcome to AI TV. We're broadcasting here from AI Expo Africa 2019, Africa's largest AI trade show. And I've got with me Gregg Barrett, who's the head of the Cirrus initiative, or Cirrus Foundry, is that correct? Cirrus?
Yeah, Cirrus initiative, and it includes the Cirrus Foundry.
Yeah, and you're based up in Pretoria?
Johannesburg.
Yeah. Oh, it's
At Wits University.
Okay, all right, there we go. Just getting the geography correct. But essentially, you've come down with a delegation, and today you're announcing the launch of this initiative. Do you want to tell the audience, Gregg, a little bit about what you're doing and why you're here?
Yeah, thanks, Nick, and thanks for the opportunity. Cirrus is 2 years plus in the works, and it is going to be based at Wits University. It's a private sector-led initiative, and Wits University, where the members of the delegation are here, are going to be leading the academic engagement throughout Africa to bring the academic community on board, because Cirrus is intended to support the academic community as well as industry in the region. We've had a lot of speakers here at the AI Expo talking about initiatives that are happening around the world. And to date, not much has happened in Africa on that front, so we're aiming to change that. So Cirrus is intended to be the AI initiative for Africa, bringing together all the requirements in terms of infrastructure to make that happen. And as mentioned earlier, Wits will be leading the academic engagement, and we're putting together a private sector coalition.
That's right, yeah.
Who are going to be leading the industry engagement throughout Africa, and that's obviously going to be tied in with the various initiatives that are happening around the world in terms of those other AI programs in the US, UK, Europe, Australasia, etc.
But I think the initiative is also a little bit broader than just AI, as I understand it. So it's looking at sort of critical, specialist infrastructure or those kinds of things. Explain a little bit about
It's everything to support work related to AI.
Okay.
And the application of AI, particularly in the hard sciences, because that's an area which we feel has been neglected. And focusing on research in the hard sciences, but importantly being able to translate that into products and services, and that's where the Cirrus Foundry comes into play.
Okay, and now once this gets going and is up and running and launched, let's say I'm a startup, I'm got my model, I'm building my business, and I'm up and running, say with an AI product or service. If I applied to your program, what could I expect? What would that journey be like, and how do you start that journey?
Yeah, that's a great question. First of all, the Cirrus Foundry will also include a Foundry Fund.
Oh, right.
That's actually to help fund the startups that are within our program, because access to capital in the region can be quite challenging. So initially we're aiming to start with 100 million rand in that Foundry Fund, but grow that by about 500 million over 5 to 6 years. So ultimately the fund should sit around 500 to 600 million. And Cirrus will cover the management fees and all the expense related to that fund, because we view the Foundry Fund as being instrumental to the proper functioning of the Cirrus operation. And the Foundry operation itself will help researchers from universities who have great ideas and want to turn their research into products and services. It will allow them to basically provide them with the capabilities to take their idea, put it into a startup in terms of forming the legal entity, having access to financial management expertise, so people that can help them with accounting, for example, the folks that will help them sort of put the legal structures around their work, so patenting their ideas or licensing it, and help them to form and grow their companies, because scientists might be great at producing research or research papers, but they make pretty poor entrepreneurs in most instances. So what we want to do is they make good co-founders, so we need to put them in the right team and right environment to build that organization, to help them with the marketing, the sales. And we actually learned a lot over the years from the work of Steve Blank in California. He has the Lean Startup Program, and that's used by NIST and iCorps in the US, and it's shown some great results in being able to commercialize, particularly hard tech, which is one of our focus areas.
Okay. So when does the program... when can people start applying to join the program?
Well, it's still early days for us. We are putting all the components in place. So the whole public launch is taking place here at the AI Expo.
That's great.
And that's now resulting in Wits University moving forward with the engagement plan that they've put in place to engage the academic community, to show that the universities in Africa now have a place where there's infrastructure and resources to help them in their AI efforts, and also to bring industry into the picture, because there's a lot of activity happening all across the world, but Africa sometimes gets forgotten. So we don't have the hardware resources in that. But with the Cirrus initiative, we're looking to change it and have hardware infrastructure which will serve the AI needs of the community in Africa. And universities are freely available to come and participate and collaborate with us in utilizing that infrastructure. And industry can also play a role, also getting access to that infrastructure.
Oh, that's great. So, I mean, obviously, I think this is your first time to AI Expo Africa. I mean, we were at the VIP reception last night. It was good fun. And obviously now everyone's landed here and the show's off and running, as they say. What's your kind of observations and takeaways so far? I mean, is it living up to your expectations?
Oh, absolutely. First of all, you know that why we chose this was because it's really a collaborative and engaging show. It brings people together from a diversity of backgrounds. We didn't want to sort of kick this off in an academic or research show because that's just got a small group of people. We didn't want to kick it off at your typical sort of PR type event because, again, that's just has sort of media. But being at AI Expo brings together industry, and it's a diversity of industry, not just from people in the region, but actually you've got Simon here from Singapore.
That's right. No.
And so we've got such a diversity of people that we can have an engagement across so many different areas. So it was a no-brainer to come and participate.
Well, thanks very much for the support there. It's great. And then, so where next for you and the delegation here? I mean, what are you trying to sort of pick up at the show, and what kind of things are you trying to do and achieve here for the next 2 days?
Well, first is to obviously show to folks the plan that we have in place for Cirrus, why it's going to be
so
the
you're giving a talk, right?
Yeah, we're doing the presentation just now, and it's going to showcase sort of what the plan is for Cirrus going forward, and all the aspects, all the components that make it up, Cirrus, the Cirrus Foundry, the Cirrus Foundry Fund. And beyond that, we've obviously just announced the signing of the agreement with Cortex, Cortex Group.
Right. The Cortex Groups are here, yeah, that's great.
And what's going to be forthcoming is the agreement with the Machine Institute of Africa, Machine Intelligence Institute of Africa, MIA. Which is exciting because that's going to help lead the engagement with the machine learning community in Africa to get the word out and to get the collaboration going.
That's fantastic.
And that's just the start.
Yeah.
We're putting together collectively, we're working together on the private sector coalition, which is going to bring some of the world's leading companies and get them to participate in Africa, participate in the research on the AI front and its application.
That's exactly what Simon and the team at NVIDIA are actually looking to do, so it's a perfect fit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
And so we're really excited about this, and it's just the first step on our journey.
Yeah. Well, Gregg, thanks very much for coming. It's been a pleasure welcoming you to the show as a new guest, a new delegation that we've included this year. And we're very much about inclusivity, so we've got universities here, we've got big business here, we've got startups here, we've got investors here, and an initiative like this I think is only going to be a massive success. So thanks very much for coming, and thanks to everyone out there watching the show right now.
Thank you, Nick.
Cheers.
Cheers.